How many days is it now since Theresa May walked into Downing Street? 71, if you want to know. And in that short time, she's completely torn up David Cameron's agenda. She's abandoned prison reform, abolished the Department for Climate Change, scrapped Jamie's anti-obesity strategy, announced new plans for grammar schools. I fear is about to say yes to Heathrow expansion, and on it goes. I admit, I voted Tory, but I didn't vote for any of this. Mrs May stood in Downing Street and promised a country that works for everyone, not the return of the nasty party. But so far it's all about putting profits before people, wealth before health. I've said before, I don't want a general election, and I still can't face one. But there's no mandate for all this. Until she has her own mandate, she has no right to tear up the manifesto that won her party power.
Cool, there's a shock. Rachel Johnson votes Conservative. I've never... You really got me going on that one.
Well, I haven't always, but go on.
OK. Listen, I actually think virtually all of the measures that you've just said are completely right. And are you not slightly arguing against yourself? Because I don't think the country's got the stomach for another general election. I agree with you.
I'm saying that too. I agree with you.
So wouldn't you want... She finally gets there. Presumably it's a post she's coveted for some time. Wouldn't you want her to be her own woman? Why would you want her to slavishly follow the policies of someone who has now departed from the office? What would that achieve for anybody?
No, my essential point here
Let me just finish. Let me finish, because then she's a false politician. Because then you're asking her not to stay true to herself. And I think if you get a big job, whether it's in media, whether it's in politics, whether it's in business or whatever, the best thing to do is to do... Because you'll lose your job eventually, and you sit dazed and stunned on the sidewalk, and you think, well, I lost my job, but at least I did it my way. At least I don't sit here thinking, oh, God, if only I'd tried it my way. So let her try it her way, because otherwise she's just bogus. Right, on to the next one.
No,
I'm talking...
Let's just go for one of them, then. OK. You're saying she is genuinely following her heart and her head together in doing things she's always wanted to do. OK, well... Grammar schools? Where is the evidence on grammar schools?
Well,
where is the evidence that she wants our kids to be fatter? Where is the evidence that she wants our young offenders to rot in prison? All these things she's done seem to me to suggest...
They were not her ideas, and the manifesto is not a legal obligation.
No, but nor is Brexit, can I remind you? No. So she's actually enacting Brexit. She doesn't have to do that either, but
no,
she is.
She agrees with that. So what I'm saying is because the country voted for that, but at the end of the day, there is no legal obligation to say that she has to do it. So
the country voted for the manifesto too.
But it's not a legal obligation. So she has a view, and I agree with Nick, you know, as a CEO, you go into somebody else's job. You don't follow what he did.
Yeah, but she's doing it to make a mark, isn't she?
What you do have to do, though, is...
make her mark.
Make her mark, but you do have to compromise and do it over a stage period, I think. I was quite surprised, shall we say, at how quickly she asserted herself in that position. And that makes me...
leadership.
But it makes me feel even more concerned about the processes that are behind any leader, whether it's the civil service, whether it's party feelings, whether it's the agenda through the manifesto. And whilst it's not legal, I'd like to see manifestos actually being legally binding, because at least you can hold people to account. I know that's complicated. But ultimately, what concerns me, I think, to Rachel's point, is the sense that she's been able to come in and she's come in hard, fast,
decisive,
which is great leadership, great leadership, but is it in the best interest? Has she got the temperature right, given the situation? Has she just gone...
But there can't be a better example. There can't be a better example than your game, right? Or the game you're in. You get a manager who presumably gets fired because he was pretty hopeless and has lost the dressing room. Well, there's no point in him going on and saying, well, let's do exactly 4-4-2 like we did and we've lost the last 10 games, is there?
No.
That's exactly what you say. It's leadership.
The point is, she's won, but Cameron had won the last 3 games for her. And then she's saying, I'm ripping it up anyway, just because I want to be the big guy now.
You take what's successful, you do it in your business. You wouldn't take over a company and immediately change the culture of the organisation. You would spend some time, I presume, looking at the culture, the good bits, the bad bits, and then working
things
through.
She's implementing are things that Cameron hadn't implemented anyway, so you can't say they failed.
No. What do you mean, like climate change and a sugar tax and all those things that I actually think are quite important?
No, what I'm saying is,
but clearly don't cut the mustard.
So a lot of the things that she's trying to recommend now are things that she believes in. It's what she thinks is important.
That she believes in, or that her advisorate believe in. You know,
what, you think Mr. Cameron didn't have advisors?
Chiefs of staff. who appear to be dictating policy
What do you
on
base
her
that on?
behalf.
What do you base that on?
Well, you know what I base
No,
it on.
I'd
All
love
the
to be told.
evidence that Downing Street is being run by two unelected chiefs of staff.
And you don't think there have ever been advisors working very closely to
Yes,
whatever
I
the
know
Prime
there
Minister said?
have been.
Right.
I know there
And by
have
the way,
been.
the viewers, I quickly made a note. The viewers, the prison reform, great, let's not spend any. I don't care about prisons. I don't give a damn about prisons. Why should my taxes go? I would like prison to be tougher. I would have flickering light bulbs all night long, so they never got any sleep.
Like
So I don't give a
Island.
damn about that. What was the other one? Wasting money on anti-obesity, that's just grammar schools, great, tick. And London Heathrow, yes, let's have no more commissions, no more inquiries.
Where do you
Build
live,
the
Nick?
bloody
I thought
runway and
you
get it
lived
done.
right underneath the flight path.
I live in South East London, I live in Blackheath.
OK, well, you're all right then. I'm
So
not.
it's
I don't want expansion
So it's
of
totally
Heathrow.
you.
So, Rachel, if you don't want a general election, what do you want? Because if you don't want a general election, you can't just have someone delivering and pushing forward something that they're not committed to and don't agree with. So, for example, like the Hinkley Point C, I really respected her when
Yes.
she literally,
Parked
when she came
it,
in and
yeah.
just said, guys, I just need to reflect on this. I had a lot of respect for her because she got some stick for it. She didn't care. She had the balls just to say, this has been agreed. I want to understand the ins and outs before I do anything. Obviously, she progressed with it. I respected that, and I think that that's what you've got to do. You've got to understand what's going on, and if you agree with something, then great, push on. And if you want to make changes, then that's up to you.
But should she not have applied that same process to other things that she's doing? That's what Rachel's saying. Should she not have pushed the pause button on a couple of these issues, whether it is grammar school?
But maybe she understood them. Maybe she wasn't unclear.
Maybe she did, and we'll find out.
I'm wondering whether she's done so much in such a short time, without having a large majority, a very small one, in fact, 17, and without having her own personal mandate. She came in because Cameron resigned and there was basically no leadership contest. So she walked into the job. And I'm wondering whether she's doing all this in order, in fact, to force some sort of crisis so that she can seek and get her own mandate. If you think about it, all the number
you've been too cynical.
if you add up her majority, which is 17, the number of people she's fired from Cameron's government, which goes to about 30, they will reach a point where she will have to put herself to the test quite soon. And I'm wondering whether this isn't the dark purpose behind all these galloping changes to the agenda.
She's got my vote.
You only...
She's definitely...
I like a strong woman in charge.
You only...
I like that. I mean, she's not all bad.
You
she's,
are.
But I just
a NIMBY.
don't like the thing. I
You
don't,
are NIMBY
I don't
Johnson.
like the things she's
No, you don't
done
like the
so
airport
far.
because it's going to be...
I don't
You're
like the
West
things she's
London.
done so
You're
far.
very
I admit
exclusive
it.
area of West
Like-
London. We'll have more planes flying over. Well, guess what? Tough. It'll provide lots of jobs up the road at Heathrow Airport. Fantastic, and put it back on track. You can't reply...
It's nonsense, Nick. We can have a
going to
whole
refer to you-
separate
I'm now going to refer
argument
to you as
about
NIMBY. You are now NIMBY.
You are mad about
NIMBY.
Stop
It's
calling
the
her
wrong-
names.
I'm talking. NIMBY.
Right,
You
listen,
It's
can't...
the wrong airport in the wrong place, and we mustn't expand it.